Lesson observation can be a very stressful thing to many of us teachers. Once a year, our reporting officer will come to our class to watch our lesson. And then before the lesson, we're very nervous. And then we will be like asking our friends, hey, what should we do in the lesson? Then a lot of people will give us a lot of ideas like, oh, maybe you should try putting some DI strategy, assessment strategy. If you can, try to put some AI and impress the observer. But then if we continue to think that way, right, that actually we just do all these things for that one lesson observation, then after the lesson observation, we don't use it anymore. We might have this thinking that actually all this lesson observation is really not so meaningful to our growth. As a teacher leader, I've been involved in many lesson observation in my life. I observe many teachers within my school, in other schools, and also there are many people that come to my school to observe my lessons. So after having all these lesson observation experiences, right, I noticed actually what observer really want to see is whether our students are very motivated or not. Yeah, it's really not about how we design the lesson, what are the strategies that we incorporate in our lesson. For example, there was this time where a group of us teachers went to this school to observe a teacher's lesson. It was a floorball lesson. And when we watched the lesson, we were all very impressed by the lesson. But then the lesson was just a very normal lesson where the teacher just asked the students to get in pairs, do practice ball passing to one another. And then after that, they had some modified floorball games. So what really impressed us was that when the students were doing the passing, right, wow, they were so motivated and they were so focused in the passing. Like their whole mind was totally immersed in that practice. It feels like we are in the floorball CCA training session where the students were preparing for some very important competition. And what amazed us even more was that this class was actually a challenging class in the school. There was another time where my VP observed my lesson, and I felt the lesson was a very bad lesson. I couldn't even complete my lesson plan, and the lesson activity I felt was quite complicated. Throughout the lesson, right, I could see the students very confused about what to do, and my instruction was also not very clear. So I was very stressed. But then after the lesson, right, during my discussion with my VP actually told me that the lesson was a very good lesson, and he asked whether I could share my lesson with the rest of the school. So I was very confused. I did not even complete the lesson plan, what went well in the lesson. Then when I watched the video and then when I reflect, right, I realized that actually the students, even though they were all very confused about the activity, don't know what to do, they were all very motivated. And they were all trying to figure themselves, trying to make sense of the activity and trying to understand what's the learning goal. And then everyone was helping one another to try to achieve that learning goal. So what the VP liked was that everyone was learning, everyone was motivated, the class was united, and everyone was helping one another. So actually when we think about lesson observation, we should think about how we can make the students even more motivated and not focusing on the task design so much. If you think about it, why do we use all the different pedagogical approaches? Why do we use game concept approach, inquiry-based learning? Why do we use assessment? Actually, all these strategy, all these approaches, the main purpose is to motivate our students, to make them believe in themselves. Yeah, but then of course a lot of teachers will ask, what if we try all this strategy and the students are still not motivated, then how? So I think we need to understand that motivation means changing mindset, turning a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. And changing mindset is not a one-time thing. It's not like one activity you can change a person to become a motivated person. It takes many hours, many instruction, many experiences to change a person's mindset about himself, to make him believe in himself. So at the start of the year, we should already start doing something. For example, build routine to slowly bring the class together, to make them help one another. And every time we say something, we give instruction, we should try our best to motivate them. And when they do something well, catch them doing something well, affirm them. And it's really a lot of things. It's that skills of how we motivate students that makes a teacher a more effective teacher. And if we really put in a lot of effort and we really try our best to keep trying to convince the student that they can, to try to develop that helping spirit, that positive classroom culture, and that everybody is really motivated, right? Then I think during the lesson observation, we don't really need to be so worried about the lesson design because the students themselves are already motivated. They all want to help one another. They all want to learn. They're all very motivated to learn. I believe that the best way to do well in the lesson observation is really to keep thinking about how we can change the students' mindset to develop that growth mindset.